Now, the 2022 Verstappen-Leclerc battle was some good F1 action. However, if you thought this was the start of the rivalry between the two drivers, you couldn't be more wrong, because their rivalry goes as far back as during their karting days. The intense competition between the duo disappeared, only to re-emerge on the grand stage of F1, where it all began. With both drivers starting karting at the tender age of 4 and both following in the footsteps of their fathers, who were also racers, it really does seem like they were destined to be rivals. Max Verstappen showcased his exceptional talent early in his karting career by securing back-to-back victories in the KF3 category of the WSK Euro Series in both 2010 and 2011. He also earned the title of World Cup runner-up in 2010, narrowly missing out on the top spot to his future Red Bull Formula One teammate Alex Albon. Charles Leclerc was also a whiz at the wheel and demonstrated a natural affinity for the game. The incident that etched itself into the history of their rivalry occurred during the second event of the 2012 WSK Euro Series at Val d'Argenton. Leclerc had taken the lead in the KF2 standings after the initial round at Sarno, where he emerged victorious in the final race. This win came after pole sitter Max Verstappen had spun out in treacherous wet conditions. The tension escalated at Val d'Argenton when Verstappen and Leclerc found themselves on the front row for their penultimate qualifying heat. In the heat of the race, Leclerc made contact with Verstappen, managing to overtake him. Verstappen responded swiftly, described by Leclerc as destroying him, which resulted in Leclerc tumbling down the order. Leclerc, displaying his resilience, managed to recover and cross the finish line in second place on track. However, the rivalry didn't end there. After the race, Leclerc caught up to Verstappen and slowed down to express his displeasure with his rival's actions. Their exchange became physical as they made contact, while Leclerc gestured towards Verstappen, eventually pushing him off track and into a substantial puddle. The consequences of this incident were significant. Both drivers were disqualified from the heat, with Verstappen facing penalties for his retaliatory actions during the race and Leclerc for the subsequent altercation, which was deemed unnecessary. However, the Monegasque driver's lead during the season gave him an edge that secured him the title for that year. Leclerc's karting journey saw him secure the 2011 World Cup title, a feat achieved a year after Max Verstappen had retired from that race. Leclerc also claimed the CIK FIA Karting Academy Trophy, a competition in which Verstappen didn't participate. Both Leclerc and Verstappen transitioned through various senior direct drive and gearbox kart categories, with Verstappen amassing an impressive list of victories. Between 2012 and 2013, Verstappen's remarkable accomplishments included winning the Masters Series and Winter Cup twice in KF2, the European Championship in KF, the Euro and Master Series in KZ1 and KZ2, and achieving the pinnacle of success by becoming the European and World Champion in the KZ category. Leclerc's karting record, while slightly more modest in comparison, still featured notable achievements. In 2012, he triumphed in the Euro Series and finished as the runner-up in the category's European Championship. He then finished second to Verstappen in the 2013 World KZ Final and secured victory in the 2013 Winter Cup in KZ2. Leclerc and Verstappen's rivalry continued to evolve as they progressed through the junior ranks of motorsport. When both drivers made their debuts in single-seater Formula Renault racing in 2014, Verstappen quickly gained attention for his exceptional speed and racing prowess, while Leclerc, on the other hand, was steadily honing his skills, showing promise as a potential future star. Verstappen wasted no time in transitioning to European Formula 3, and by the summer of that year, both Red Bull and Mercedes were vying to sign him. Ultimately, Verstappen chose Red Bull, and in March 2015, he made his debut in Formula One, bursting onto the F1 scene with a remarkable blend of speed, aggression, and fearlessness. His early career was marked by rapid progress, and he soon developed into a well-rounded racer and a valuable team leader. In contrast, Charles Leclerc followed a different path. He diligently cultivated his knowledge and skills in the junior formulae. Tragedy struck when he lost his father during his F2 season, following by the loss of his godfather and mentor, Jules Bianchi. But despite these personal setbacks, Leclerc displayed remarkable composure and ultimately secured his place in Formula One with Sauber in 2018, where he continued to demonstrate his potential and determination on the grand stage. Rivalry transcends Formula One. During the 2019 Austrian Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc was poised to secure his first Formula One victory. However, Verstappen had different plans for the race. The Dutchman faced a challenging start, plummeting to 8th place during the opening lap. Undeterred, Verstappen mounted a determined comeback, slicing through the competition until only Leclerc stood between him and an extraordinary triumph. As the race neared its conclusion with just 4 laps remaining, Verstappen made his move. He attempted to overtake Leclerc, but the Monegasque driver expertly defended his position by strategically positioning his car on the outside of turn 3 at the Red Bull ring. On the subsequent lap, Verstappen made another bold attempt to pass Leclerc. This time, he forcibly manoeuvred his way through, an action that elicited a strong reaction of anger from Leclerc. Nonetheless, race officials looked into the contact between the two drivers, but ultimately decided not to impose any penalties. Now, just 1 week later, Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc found themselves locked in another intense battle, with the memories of their clash in Austria still fresh in their minds. Formula One enthusiasts often cherish the legendary duel between Gilles Villeneuve and René Arnoux during the final lap of the 1979 French Grand Prix in Dijon. Similarly, the showdown between Verstappen and Leclerc at the 2019 British Grand Prix in Silverstone is bound to be etched in the annals of F1 history. The two drivers engaged in an epic high-speed duel, thrilling the Silverstone fans with each passing lap. Their contest was characterized by fierce but fair racing, often pushing the limits of their cars and their nerves. There were moments that left spectators holding their breath, keeping everyone at the edge of their seats. Leclerc even remarked that it was the most enjoyable experience he had in Formula One up to that point, and hoped that they would be able to race for more wins and world titles. And just 3 years later, his wish came to pass. Unfortunately, Ferrari faced a challenging season in 2020, which prevented Verstappen and Leclerc from having more head-to-head battles, except for a notable incident at the 2020 Sakir Grand Prix. Now, during that race, Leclerc braked late and collided with Sergio Perez, causing Verstappen to take evasive action and veer into the gravel trap. In contrast, the 2021 Formula One season showcased Max Verstappen's remarkable speed and consistency, ultimately leading to his coronation as the champion. Charles Leclerc, on the other hand, focused on honing his race management skills and tyre conservation, areas where he had room for improvement, especially during his first 2 years in the sport. Much like Leclerc's personal development, Ferrari was also gearing up for the 2022 season and the introduction of new regulations. Early indicators from pre-season testing suggested that Matteo Binotto's team had designed a car capable of catapulting Ferrari back to the front of the grid. With Leclerc at the wheel, Scuderia Ferrari indeed made a triumphant return to the winner's circle. The grand rebirth of a rivalry. Now, the 2022 Bahrain Grand Prix set the stage for what would unfold in the world of Formula One that year. Max Verstappen and his Red Bull teammate Sergio Perez faced an unfortunate late withdrawal due to reliability concerns, leaving Red Bull with 0 points and creating an opportunity for Ferrari. Leclerc seized the moment by securing pole position and engaging in exhilarating wheel-to-wheel battles in their absence. The Monegasque driver subsequently dominated the opening round of the season, securing his first victory since Monza in 2019. Just a week later, Leclerc once again showcased his strategic prowess on the racetrack, this time at the Jeddah Corniche circuit in Saudi Arabia. He engaged in tactical maneuvers with Verstappen, particularly at the final DRS detection point, demonstrating his ability to outwit his rival in the heat of competition. In the end, Max Verstappen managed to figure out a way to pass the Monegasque driver after a fiercely contested final 10 laps. Although he ultimately finished in second place, Charles Leclerc expressed his genuine enjoyment of the race. Leclerc took the win in the next race in Australia, but due to some technical issues, he lost the edge he had at the start of the season to Verstappen, and the Dutchman took the lead at once. As the season unfolded, it became a fierce competition between Verstappen and Leclerc, with each taking turns in the winner's circle and the other quickly responding. Verstappen in particular made a significant impact by clinching victory at the United States Grand Prix in Austin. This achievement not only solidified his position in the championship, but also tied him with legends such as Sebastian Vettel and Michael Schumacher for the most victories in a single season. As the season progressed, Ferrari's performance took a downturn, while Mercedes emerged as a more formidable threat to Red Bull. This shift became evident when Lewis Hamilton secured a second place finish in Texas, leaving Charles Leclerc with a third place finish. However, Max Verstappen managed to set things straight in Abu Dhabi, where he dominated the entire weekend, clinching his 15th victory of the season. As the final tally was counted, Verstappen concluded the season with an impressive 454 points, firmly establishing his championship dominance. Charles Leclerc, although a strong contender, ended up 146 points behind Verstappen in the standings. Therefore, Verstappen emerged as the winner of the season, clinching his second championship even before the end of the season. Unfortunately, 2023 isn't looking so good for Ferrari, and hopefully they'll be able to pick up and give fans the much needed competition between the long-time rivals. So, after hearing all this, do you think the duo's rivalry will re-emerge in the upcoming seasons? Let us know in the comment section down below.